back. And things are good. Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George, and if this is your first time here, or you've been here before but have not subscribed yet, please do so. Come on into the Knicks-Verse. This is going to be an incredibly exciting season. It's shaping up to be maybe the best season the Knicks have had in 25 years. That's what I'm feeling. And especially by what has happened recently, the New York Knicks have added tremendous depth to their lineup recently. They have signed three vets, Malcolm Brogdon, Landry Shamet, and Garrison Mathews, and they're going to fight it out in the preseason for one final vet minimum spot, but it could actually be two. If Brock Aller and Leon Rose can work some magic, which they have done in the past, it may actually cost Tyler Kolek. He may have to get traded. We're going to get into all of that. Welcome into the Knicks-Verse. Let's go. Here we go. Shams reported today. Free agent guard Malcolm Brogdon has agreed to a one-year deal. Now, it is an non-guaranteed deal, by the way. With the New York Knicks, agent Sam Permute of Rock Nation tells ESPN, entering his 10th NBA season. The former Sixth Man of the Year gives the Knicks key backcourt depth and reserve playmaking. The Knicks have been looking for another point guard. They kind of were looking at Ben Simmons for a little while, but ultimately Ben Simmons is not a good fit for what this team is trying to do. This team is poised right now to go after the chip. They are probably the most dangerous team. Not probably. Remove the word probably. They are the most dangerous team in the East, specifically. Because OKC, OKC, they were fantastic. They're probably going to try to repeat. The West is loaded. But in the East, with the crippling injuries to the Celtics and the Pacers, and who knows what's happening with the Bucks, what kind of team they're going to actually be. The New York Knicks are poised to be, along with the Cleveland Cavaliers, give them their flowers, to be the top two teams in the East. And a lot of people are thinking the Knicks are the team to beat, especially with the way they have added the depth to their lineup. They have, and let's keep going. As you can see, free agent guard Landry Shamet has agreed to a one-year deal to return to the New York Knicks, and I'm ecstatic about this. I was a big fan of Landry last season. He shot almost 47% from the three-point line in the playoffs, almost 40% from the three-point line in the regular season. If it weren't for that shoulder injury that basically he suffered about a year ago in preseason, we would have seen him showing all that off through the whole season. We only got to see it towards the end, but he gave it to us when it mattered. And if Thibs had turned to him a little more in key spots, who knows what he could have contributed in reality. So his agent, George S. Langberg of GSL Sports Group, tells ESPN Shamet stays with the Knicks for his 8th NBA season. Now, again, this is a non-guaranteed. The next guy, here we go. Garrison Mathews is coming to the Knicks training camp to compete for a roster spot per Stephen Bondy. He is a career 38% three-point shooter. And in 2024, he was 4th in the NBA at 44%. He is a sniper from deep. The question mark for him is really defense. He's actually the biggest of these three guards that the Knicks are looking at, but he's not a playmaker. Doesn't set people up. He's a sniper. And Landry Shamet is more of a wing, where Malcolm is a true point guard. So Malcolm at this point has the lead for getting this roster spot, because that is the one thing the Knicks desperately need is a point guard at this moment. In fact, let's look at this here. This depth chart prepared for me by Foxy, the great Stephen Fox. He prepared this for us here. As you can see, at point guard, we basically have Jalen Brunson and Miles McBride, and here we have Tyler Kolek listed, but most likely he will be traded to make room for both Shamet and Brogdon. So this is still a work in progress. But Deuce, Deuce he's a true two guard right now. He's a combo guard. He can run an offense at times, but those weaknesses have definitely shown up over the years. But he's definitely been clutch in the playoffs. His defense is tremendous, and I love just his toughness, his grit. So in that respect, he's definitely a lock, I think, for this rotation. However, he's not really the backup point guard that you need to run the second unit, especially for a team with championship aspirations. So Malcolm Brogdon fits in perfectly there. However, the man is incredibly injury prone. He's averaged 41 games per season in the last 4 seasons, and that's including 67 games that he played in the season that he played for Boston, which I believe that was 2022-23. So he really has averaged like 29 games, 32 games. So he's incredibly injury prone, and he's 32 years old right now. He carries a lot of weight for an athlete of his size of 6'4". Carries about 230 pounds. I'm a little concerned about him in terms of being the perfect backup point guard for Jalen Brunson, but at this point, at the end of the roster, at a vet minimum, he's a great find, and if he can stay healthy, he could really contribute to this team tremendously going forward. So let's go back. Let's go back to this. Here we go. Here's an interesting thing. So Stephen Bondi also tweeted this out. People around the league expecting the Knicks to make a move to have space to keep Brogdon and either Shamet or Mathews. So this is the way I look at this. Brogdon only shot 28% from the three-point line last season. That was horrific. And he only played 24 games for the Wizards. Now, the season before that, though, he played only 39 games for Portland, but he did shoot 41% from the three-point line. And then the season before that with Boston, which he was sixth man of the year, he shot 44.4% from the three-point line. So the man was just and those were his best three-point shooting years since 2018, 2019. The year before that, in 2021, 22, when he played for Indiana, he shot a paltry 31% from the three-point line. So he's kind of been really up and down from the three-point line. So we're hoping if he has a bounce-back year from the three-point line and can stay healthy, he will definitely get that vet minimum and solidify his role in his role in the rotation with the Knicks. The next guy is whether Shamet or Mathews is the better fit. Mathews gives you some bigger size than Shamet. However, Shamet, as I pointed out before, his three-point shooting has been tremendously consistent, and he defensively has really stepped it up as of late. Last year in the regular season, he had a defensive rating of 106.5, which is fabulous, and in the playoffs, he had a defensive rating of 107. So this guy can play. This guy can defend. This guy can shoot. I loved his attitude that he had towards the end of the season. I wish we had used him more, honestly. But then you look at Garrison Mathews. His defensive rating is 111 last season. The season before that, these are both with the Hawks, was 115.8. But he has had some decent numbers. Let's see, in 2022-23, for Houston, he had a 108.5 defensive rating, but then when he got traded to the Hawks, it spiked up to 116. So he's really not a good defender. I think at times he has his moments, but I wouldn't depend on him for some solid defense off the bench. So in that respect, I would give the nod to Shamet. So if the battle comes down between, if Brogdon can prove in the preseason that his three-point shot has returned, he'll get that spot. And then between Shamet and Mathews, I have a feeling Shamet's going to earn that next spot as well. And then we will have tremendous depth up and down this lineup. Look at this depth right here. Look at this. Look at that second team. Brogdon, Clarkson, Josh Hart, Yabusele, Hakporti. That's an excellent second team. This is if Mike Brown decides to start Mitch. There's still question marks about that. Mike Brown has really never utilized a double big lineup. I've done some research. I haven't been able to find a real significant sign that he's used a double big lineup. Doesn't mean he's not going to. I personally believe that Mitch should be in the starting lineup because Brunson is still a liability defensively, though he did improve. He did improve last season. At least the eye test. The eye test showed that he did improve, especially as the season went on. And Towns, you know, he definitely has struggled defensively. We've seen him struggle defensively, but he also did improve as the season wore on. So if you, let's say, some people are saying, hey, let's start Yabusele at the 4 and get Towns at the 5. Offensively, that's a fantastic unit, especially the way Gershon has been leading that French national team in the Eurobasket competition. You probably have already seen his halftime speech, and they came back and won. He's shooting lights out from the three-point line. He's shown leadership qualities. He definitely feels like a perfect fit for New York and for the Knicks themselves, but he's not necessarily a good defender. He's slightly below an average defender. So then you have him slightly below an average defender. You have Towns, who's below an average defender, and Brunson, who's a compromised defender. So that's three. That's like 60% of your lineup of your starting lineup would not be good defenders. So that's a big burden left upon Bridges and OG Anunoby. That's why I believe that you should start with Mitch. You should start with a defensive presence. You don't have to play him. He doesn't have to play, 35 minutes. He can play 24 minutes. He can play 26 minutes. And you can have a lot of small ball here and there. Once you establish a defensive presence and you allow players to get comfortable in their roles defensively, especially if Mikal is going to be the point of attack defender, you don't want to wear him out. And also, you want him to be aggressive enough so that he can actually make an impact on the point of attack defensively. And the only way he can do that is if he knows he's got the block nest monster behind him to save all of us. So that's my feeling about the lineups. But I'm going to go much deeper into the lineup construction. This is more kind of just thoughts right here. We have Bacom Dadier in there, who I'm expecting. If he gets any play time at all, I'm expecting a nice season from him. I loved what I saw from him in summer league. And then Mohamed Diawara, also very exciting player. Raw, but the man can play. He's got hops. He's a grab and go kind of player, kind of like a Josh Hart, but with much greater size. And then, as Foxy has it listed here, Towns can play the small ball 5 at the center position. Is so much depth on this lineup. This is, in my opinion, shaping up to be a championship type of roster. I am thrilled by what Leon and Brock Aller have done. And think about this. And I see, guys, shout out to Papa Left. I think he's the one who pointed this out on Twitter. Basically, Brock and Leon have added Clarkson, Yabusele, and Brogdon in place of Payne, Precious, and I can't remember, Delon Wright? I can't remember who the other third guy. I mean, that is a tremendous upgrade in the back half of this roster. We have tremendous depth up and down, and the best part is I think Brown is going to go 10 deep, and he's not going to overplay the starters like the way he has in the past been known to overplay some starters himself as well. But I think he has definitely read the tea leaves, and he knows that is not the way to go in the modern NBA, especially with this roster, this particular roster themselves, because you want to have fuel in the tank when it matters the most come April, May, June. We want Knicks to be playing in June. So I think the minutes are going to be spread around pretty generously, and there'll be enough minutes for at least a 10-man roster. Definitely a 9-man roster, 100% 9-man roster, but I think several times we will see a 10-man roster, especially, for example, look, Clarkson is a streaky guy. He could be struggling. He could go through some bad patches. So then you have Landry Shamet. You plug him in there. Josh Hart also can get cold. He can get gun shy, and then you can just go basically play Yabusele more than Josh Hart. There's a lot of flexibility on this roster. And then you have Deuce. Deuce, you can plug him in with any lineup. Some people are thinking Deuce should start, and the evidence is there. When Deuce starts with these guys, it's a tremendously positive lineup. However, I just don't see Brown going in that direction at this point. You want as much size out on the court, especially in your starting lineup, as possible. So I do believe that the starters that were in the playoffs, once Thibs finally turned to the double big, are going to be the starters coming this year. But there'll be more time to get into that later. Let's get back to this. All right, let's look at this. So this is the active roster right now. Shamet is not listed on here, but he could be. Shamet would hit the... Let me go to this. So this is the summary of right now where the Knicks are with their salary cap. They have $1.4 million in space below the second apron. So, but a minimum for a vet is basically about $2.3 million. So there is almost $800,000 to $900,000 difference there that the Knicks need to find. So that means that either Pacom Dadier or Tyler Kolek could be traded to make enough cap space to sign another vet minimum. Actually, the amount of money that Malcolm Brogdon is actually going to really earn is over $3 million. But the beauty of the vet minimum deal is it only hits the cap at just shy of $2.3 million. So you get a lot of value when you sign vets. It's an encouragement to sign vets. Same thing would be for Shamet as well. So it looks like Tyler Kolek could be the odd man out here. And, as much hopes as I had for him, just what I saw in the Summer League really did not infuse me with a lot of confidence. He was getting blown by in Summer League by other players. I mean, if he was getting burnt defensively, it's one thing to be, he's an excellent playmaker. He probably is the best passer on the team, pure passer. But if he can't defend and shoot, then what do you have? So I think at this point he needs to be developed. They did bring in Lang from St. Joseph's, who is going to be in charge of player development, and I love that move. However, sometimes, when you are building a roster with a goal of winning a championship, you are going to have to sacrifice somewhere. And if you are going to do that, I would sacrifice Kolek over Dadier any day of the week. I think Dadier has a very, very high ceiling in the NBA, potentially. And he's just turned 20. I believe, or he might even still be 19. I think he just turned 20. So I think Knicks will probably create some kind of package. I'm not sure how they'll do it, but they will move Kolek, and they'll probably bring back some minimum salary guy, who's making $1.8 million or something, and then just cut him loose, and then they will be able to sign Shamet. They could also wait until the season starts, keep Shamet around somehow, and then sign him for a prorated contract later on. So there's a lot of flexibility here. One reason Ariel Hawk-Porty would not be part of any trade is because there's not much depth in the center spot after Towns and Mitch. And we know Mitch has been injury prone in years past. He didn't even play last season until until February. So at this point, you have to have him as insurance. And he definitely has shown some interesting defensively. He can hold up. He's a very good shot blocker. He has an active live body. He's got some moves down low. He's an exciting third string center for the Knicks. So the only place I can see any flexibility here, unless you make some wild trade with Josh Hart, for some other, I'm hearing Walker Kessler type rumors and stuff, but you never know. You never know with Leon and Brock. But at this point, most likely it's going to be Tyler Kolek that will get moved, and the Knicks will be able to add Shamet to this roster. Now, the Knicks will also be able to have 15 players, but that includes two-way contracts as well. So you might see, I don't believe that, I don't even know who would even be on a two-way contract at this point. Dink Pate, possibly. Najee, possibly. So we'll see how that develops. But in terms of the roster itself, I love the way Leon has constructed this right now. You bring in Brunson, little bit on the smaller side. And if Brogdon, I had noticed that he had been getting a little slower of late, but let's say, he's fully healthy and that speed returns, he could really give you an interesting body size out there on the floor with these Knicks. So this is Brogdon's stats, his career. So you can see what I'm talking about. In 2024, 25, he shot 28% from the three-point line, 43% overall. He was a -5. However, he did have a PI score of 11.3, so that's some decent impact. But his defensive rating was almost 117. Sorry, you can go there. Almost 117 defensively. But that was also with the Wizards. So that's. The Wizards were a compromised team defensively, but he didn't help as well. And you can see he has been basically not been having a very strong defensive season. With Boston he did 109.3, but that's, Boston Celtics. He was surrounded by great defensive players there. And then when you look at Shamet, let's look at Shamet here, Landry. So you can see, this is the playoffs. Go to regular season here. In the regular season, look at that. He shot almost 40% from three last season. The season before that was a down season for him, almost 33.8%, but 37%, almost 38% with Phoenix, almost 37% with Phoenix the year before that, almost 38% with the Nets. So he's a fairly consistent, other than the Wizards year, he has shot over 37.5% from the three-point line consistently. And with the Knicks, he really spiked up to almost 40%. And in the playoffs, look how beautiful this was when it mattered the most. He was almost at 47% from the three-point line. And then you look at his defensive ratings right there, 107.3 in the playoffs. That was excellent. You can see in the year before that, which actually 2 years before that, 2 seasons before that, when he was with Phoenix, it was at 118. So he really has maybe, being around better defensive players. That's maybe the positive impact Thibodeau could have had on him. Health as well. His defensive prowess spiked up there. You can see in the regular season, he was a 106.5 defensive rating player. I really like him for this team. I'm really happy. He was one of the guys I really wanted the Knicks to bring back. I wanted him over DeLon Wright, and now he has a chance to earn one of those, that final spot. If Brogdon can't show, my feeling is if Brogdon doesn't display that he can be consistent from the three-point line in the preseason, he may not make this team. He may not make it. There's a very, very good chance of that. But Mathews, that guy can shoot the three. Look at this, 39% last season, 44% the season before. The guy can shoot the three. His issue is defensively. You can see here, 111.4 defensive rating, 115 the year before that. So, but this is why you're getting guys like this at the end of the roster for vet minimum deals. These are quality pickups for the value, for the money. So I'm ecstatic, and you never know. Any of these guys could have a big bounce back year. We've seen it happen before. I think Mathews is 28 years old. Yes, and Landry Shamet is 28 years old. Those are in the prime of their careers. Brogdon is getting up there, 32 years old. He'll be turning 33 during the season, and he's already experienced a lot of injuries. You can see here, look, 36 games in 2021-22, 67 games in 22-23 with Boston, but then down to 39 games with Portland year after that, and then last season only 24 games. So he's injury prone, but he could have one last great season in him. So it could happen with the Knicks. Could help the Knicks raise the trophy in June. Let's go. All right. Thanks so much. It's good to be back. There's going to be a lot happening in Knicks-Verse. The Knicks season is going to be incredibly exciting. Going to be putting out tons of content. Feel refreshed, feel reinvigorated, and I cannot wait for NBA basketball. I cannot wait for New York Knicks basketball. Let's go. All right, thank you so much for watching this. Again, my name is George. Please subscribe. Follow me on social media. Share this video. Hit the thumbs up button. And drop your comments. Want to hear your thoughts and feelings about anything Knicks. And I will see you around the Knicks-Verse. Let's go!